54 years have already passed since the historic 17th of October demonstrations in Algeria. Plus, Secretary General of the FLN ruling party, Mr. Ammar Saadani, urged all parties to preserve the national security and national unity to ensure a strong domestic front. And later on in our news program, Iran said today that its latest missile tests did not violate resolutions of the UN Security Council, as stated by the United States and France. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, you're watching the News Live and welcome to this English News Edition. First in our news file, 54 years have already passed since the historic 17th of October demonstrations in Algeria, when Algerians, both at home and in Paris, took to the streets to contest the cruelty of the French occupier in a move that took the freedom-fighting struggle right to the core of the French capital. 400 Algerians were brutally killed during the French efforts to curb the protests. And on this occasion, the Minister of Mujahideen, Tayyip Zitouni, is in the southern province of Bashar to commemorate the event. Hints Minaras.
55 years today follow the day where unarmed Algerian Muslims demonstrating in central Paris against a discriminatory curfew were beaten, shot, and even drowned by police and special troops, where thousands were rounded up and taken to detention centers around the city, where there were more beatings and killings. Many of the bodies were found floating in the River Seine. The province of Bashar is home this Saturday to the official festivities commemorating the 54th anniversary of the events of October 17, 1961, attended by the Minister of Mujahideen, Tayyip Zitouni. Mr. Zitouni chaired a remembrance ceremony and laid a wreath of flowers in memory of the martyrs of the Revolution of November 1st, 1954, as well as the work of a meeting about the events of October 17, 1961.
On this day, we commemorate the events of October 1961 by choosing the province of Bashar as host of the official festivities. Algerians once united for a noble cause, and from here, from the province of Bashar, with great ambition and strength, it sprung all the way to Paris.
In addition to the inspection of a resting center for the Mujahideen in Territ, southern province of Bashar, the minister also inaugurated the Museum of Mujahid, a new historical and cultural space tracing the political and military resistance of the Algerian people against the French colonialism. It is worth mentioning that on 2012, French President François Hollande officially recognized October 17, 1961 atrocious events. However, 55 years later, no official apology has been issued from the part of French authorities, remaining a black dot in the history of the glorious Algerian War.
The Secretary General of the FLN ruling party in Algeria, Mr. Ammar Saadani, met this morning with members and party veterans in the eastern province of Annaba, where he urged in his initiative all parties to preserve the national security and national unity to ensure a strong domestic front. Karim Fazakri.
Ammar Saadani, the Secretary General of the FLN party, spoke of peace, politics, and betrayal of the revolution, independence, as well as November 1st, 1954. The head of the FLN warned that Algeria was in danger to justify his party's initiative on the creation of a new presidential alliance, but especially to launch coded messages hammering the one who betrayed the FLN, saying they were Harkis, without citing any names.
The initiative that we held doesn't concern the FLN party only. It didn't even hold the name of the FLN. It's a national initiative. Some partners would say yes and hesitate. They should know that this was in the past. Either say yes or no. There isn't a third option.
Returning once more on his initiative to create a new presidential alliance, Saadani questions the yes, but of some parties that do not clearly express their position. He also returns as every intervention in the fight against corruption and the need to open the doors to skills in Algeria. On another chapter, and referring to the opposition calling for early presidential elections, the leader of the FLN insists that the position of president is on hold until 2019.
As for the opposition, we told those who want to join that we should preserve the country's security. The home front should be strong and united. We wouldn't disagree over the country's security, foreign interference or development projects. As for presidency, we should wait for elections.
Ammar Saadani also called for the construction of a civil state in which the citizen exercises his duties safely under the rule of law, peace and justice.
The works of the mega harbour of central Algiers to be built in deep water to serve as a transshipment platform for large vessels will begin in 2016, according to Prime Minister Abdel Salam. The harbour infrastructure will be built by the Algerian public and private companies in partnership with foreign groups for a total cost of 200 billion Algerian dinars. Karim Zakri reporting again.
In 2016, Algeria begins the construction of a large overflow harbour connected to highways access in order to facilitate the transportation of goods into the country and even into inner Africa. The new port will cover an area of over 10,000 hectares. It will be accompanied by installing a logistics area of 300 hectares, according to the Prime Minister. This project is the biggest one that independent Algeria has ever achieved. We will build this harbour, considered one of the largest projects of independent Algeria in 2016. It's not anything, it's a mega project. It'll have enormous capacities. It'll be connected to highways access on Al Afroun and on Africa, etc. The new commercial port will comprise a new industrial zone. The harbour infrastructure will be built by the Algerian public and private companies in partnership with foreign groups for a total cost of 200 billion Algerian dinars, about $2 billion. Once this port is achieved, the Algerian government plans to gradually transfer some of the Algiers port activities to this one. This will be achieved with grandeur in our vision, and the construction will be done in partnership by private and public national companies as well as foreign ones, because it's a big deal, not a simple harbour. It's a huge thing with an industrial zone for production, export and import business. The future harbour of Algeria will answer most of important technical requirements, being in deep water, to receive large ships, and of very large tonnage. This is going to boost the maritime activities in the sense that the volume of traffic in the country is expected to reach by 2050 35 million tons of goods per year.
Moving on to other national news. Cultivated for its deliciously sweet and nutritious fruit, the date palm is a familiar sight in Algeria, with desert oasis towns generally featuring large palm groves. There are many different varieties of dates, but the most prized of them all is Deglet Noor, referred as to the Algerians' queen of all dates, which originated in Algeria. Lamia Ashush for more details.
We're here at the province of Biskra, southern Algeria, precisely in Laghrouss municipality, whose oases extend through this large surface with the palm trees standing tall, a sight that the farmers rejoice every year when it's time to collect the dates. However, this year's profit is very poor. Just like every season, many problems come to the surface, such as the lack of the qualified labor force. These southern regions of Algeria have the best types of dates in the world. In each branch of dates that comes out of these palm trees, more than 2 different date types are found, most notably the world-renowned Deglet Noor, rightfully named the queen of all dates. The authentic Algerian Deglet Noor has a soft touch, a translucent light color, and a soft honey-like taste, characteristics which distinguish it from other dates. The name itself means date of light or translucent, which well describes the light golden color of the fruit. The Deglet Noor date is one of Algeria's top export products, and the municipality of Tolga in the Biskra province of Algeria is home to more than 500,000 date palm trees, producing these high-quality fruits.
In world news, an Israeli settler shot and killed a Palestinian teenager this morning on Hebron's Shuhada Street in the occupied West Bank. A resident of the area said the settler shot the boy near the illegal Israeli settlement outpost Bil Hadassah. The paramedics of the Palestinian Red Crescent arrived, but Israeli occupation soldiers didn't allow them to access the young man. The soldiers then covered the young man's face, then took him in an ambulance to an unknown destination. Settlers were reportedly distributing candies following the young man's tragic death. Hungary has closed its border with Croatia in an effort to stem the flow of migrants through the country on road to Western Europe. Croatia said it would begin directing migrants to Slovenia instead. Hungary has been a major transit country for migrants, many of whom aim to continue on to Austria and Germany. It announced the closure on Friday after EU leaders failed to agree a plan backed by Hungary to send a force to prevent migrants reaching Greece. A group of several hundred migrants who arrived near the village of Zakani minutes before the deadline were the late to be allowed through. And as it's been mentioned earlier in the headlines, Iran said Saturday that its latest missile tests did not violate resolutions of the UN Security Council. As stated by the United States and France, the US government said it will push for UN action against Iran for violating sanctions by testing a ballistic missile, but insists it will not derail the historic international nuclear deal brokered earlier this year. On the 11th of October, Iran, which has several types of missiles with a range of 2,000 kilometers capable of reaching Israel, announced the test of a new missile without specifying the exact scope. According to US Ambassador to the UN, Samantha Power, it is, quote, a clear violation of Resolution 1929 of the Security Council. A toddler and a 5-year-old girl were raped in separate attacks in New Delhi overnight, with at least one gang raped, according to police sources, as activists warned of an epidemic of sexual violence in the Indian capital. The 2.5-year-old girl was abducted from a religious event in West Delhi by two men on Friday night and raped before being dumped in a park near her home, according to her relatives. In a separate incident on the other side of the city, the 5-year-old was lured to a neighbor's house and raped by 3 men. The 2 attacks come as New Delhi struggles with sexual attacks against women and, in several recent cases, children that have sparked outrage in India and abroad. Now in sports news, the Algerian international boxing champion Jamal Dahoud said to Zair News in a phone call from Las Vegas that he refutes rumors saying that he had a car accident in California, stressing that he only had an injury that would keep him away from the ring for 4 months, adding that he received moral support from boxing legend Mike Tyson. In the same context, the WBC and UBO champion said that he will be back soon to represent the Algerian flag. Let's have a listen.
Assalamu alaikum. Alhamdulillah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, I did the surgery last month after I had right leg injury in my training camp here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Alhamdulillah, now I feel much better. Hopefully I will start training in 2 months. I will start training and start doing my boxing again, inshallah. About the picture with Mike Tyson, last week I had the chance to meet one of the greatest boxers in the world, Mike Tyson. It was a great moment for me. I appreciate all his advice and kindness toward me. Thank you so much for your help and your support, Zair News. And I want to thank my fans, my family, all my peoples, Algerian people, for their support and love. Thank you so much, and Allah bless you all.
And finally, we wrap up our news with Palestine as the guest of honor at this year's 20th edition of Traditional Crafts in the International Fair. These days, in the Palestinian traditional outfit and the symbol of heroic Palestinian revolution is being showcased, much to the delight of both Algerian and Palestinian peoples. Hints من الراس.
outfits are a known part of the people's cultural constituents. The Palestinian traditional outfit is amongst the most important pieces of heritage Palestinian women have preserved for centuries for its historical depth, authenticity, habits, and traditions, being an inseparable part of the Palestinian identity, no matter how many changes it has gone throughout the years. The Palestinian traditional outfit knows no modernism. We hold on to our Palestinian heritage. It represents the Palestinian identity. The Palestinian outfit is purely homemade. It is crucial for the Palestinian woman to make one for her and her daughters. Our heritage has witnessed some changement. It was handmade before, now with the help of the machine. The good thing that it's broadening all over the world. Every part of these outfits will call the history and the struggle of the Palestinian people, from the white and black kufiya, which is a large scarf, a national symbol of the fight, to this intricate dress, bringing us back to the days of Canaani people. Its trims and motifs are a work of art. We included symbols of the Palestinian revolution to our dresses, like this robe, and the one on top has our national flag embroidered on the dress. Our revolution is part of our everyday outfits. In the Algerian burnous here, I included Palestinian embroidery in it. This is how creativity works, combining civilizations. Mrs. Samira was able to build a cultural bridge uniting two people, the traditional Algerian outfit and authentic Palestinian dress, in the most beautiful and one-of-a-kind designs.
The end of our English news edition. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.